In this video, I am gonna show you 15 n8n nodes which work for the almost 80% of workflows. In this past few years, we built 100 plus automation for our clients and we used these 15 nodes for every automation. Before starting, myself Hamil Patel, I am founder and CEO of HTTP Media. So go to the n8n and check which nodes are highly used in most of the automation. So first we are starting with trigger. The main bone of the any workflow is starting. So it's maybe start from manual trigger or maybe start from the schedule trigger or on form submission method. So first I added manual execution workflow. So let's execute this tab so you can see it work in manual way. In the case like we want to execute the workflow, then we are just clicking the execute tab and then your full workflow is running. In second node I added schedule trigger because in the case like we want to automate our Instagram or any other social media, then we are using this schedule trigger. So you can see you want to trigger a certain timeline, then you can put the timeline and the minutes here. If you want uh, daily or you want per certain hours, then you can also do from here. Then after I put on form submission method, after adding the form details your workflow will execute. So this one is also main one. In the third option you also add a webhook as a trigger because most of apps are using a webhook to work for external query. So you can see you have test URL and production URL, but webhook also has a part of APIs, so we added this webhook in the API section. I will guide you the webhook in details after some minutes. Also your trigger can work by various apps. You can see second option action in app and you have thousands of apps here, so you can connect any apps. After trigger on various apps your workflow will start. We have storage or database option. This one is the main option because we want to add the data for your workflow, and you can see sheet has many options. Type sheet, you have various options for Google Sheet. Most of time append or update row work. Let's execute this tab so you have better idea. So you need to sign in with your Google account and you have your credential in your n8n. It shows the which document you need to select. So I'm selecting this capture lead document name and the sheet number 1, and I type manually phone and full name. So let's execute this tab. So it's collecting the data. You can see the number and the full name is here. Okay, also you can add multiple database here, MySQL database, Supabase or Airtable, any other option available here. In recent days n8n added their own data table here. So you can see I added this example data table from the data table section. This is the beta version and it's added recently. So let's check how it's work. I'm adding a phone, full name and email here. So let's execute this tab. So you can see our data is added in this example node, full name, email and the timing, etc. So this one also the main option right now because it's easy to manage here. Let's move on third category, which is a universal data processing. This one is the main one because it process your data in certain required format. So we added this edit field section because you can see our form has some data but we want to add some additional fields, so I added one field section here. So you can see our this field contains some additional information like a product placement and the style, etc. So you can use these in the case like you want to add some additional information. I added this custom JSON. So you have some doubts like how you added this JSON, so you have to go to the ChatGPT and type like I want to add some additional information like you are building for Instagram automation, your branding colors, your branding requirement, etc. You can add by the JSON edit fields here. So it's a basic one. Then after move on the split out option. Single module can convert it into the multiple section. Like you have collected any big data which contain all the details. Let's suppose you are scraping the data from the internet which contain email, name and the number. Let's suppose I am adding a append or update row. Let's change with get rows. Okay, so you're selecting same capture lead and sheet number 1 here. So let's connect this in the starting, so you can connect here. So let's execute this sheet by manual action. So I'm adding this manual here Okay, so I'm executing this manual workflow. So after we have this, let's execute this step. You can see we have the all sheet data here, and now let's connect, and I want some certain data. So let's removing this one, and I want like a, so let's suppose I want only phone number and the full name. Okay, so you can add multiple here and execute this step. I don't want email and this data here, so let's execute this step. So you can see you have these two rows only, phone number and full name. So it work in the other ways, but I just show you how to use this split out here. Aggregate work in the case like you want to combine data into the one format, like you are scraping some CEO's data, then let's add at the rate, which means you want email only. Then after you have a switch nodes. So this one is the also main one, because you can see this workflow contain a switch. Let's suppose we want this in a multiple data set, then after we are adding a switch option here. So you can see we added various routing tools here. This previous nodes has combined data, but we want to work this for all the other ways. Use same workflow and it can create a multiple option or multiple results. So this switch option is also a main node which highly used on the n8n. Okay, then after if node, let's suppose I am adding the sheet here in the if node. Let's connect here, and we have this all the values, but let's suppose I want some few information which are true, like I selecting full name here, and which contains, let's select this string which contains Patel. So I'm adding a Patel here. Let's execute this step. So you can see it added one rows which can contain a Patel here. So you can see full name myself Hamil Patel here, so its output is here. So this one is also used in many ways. Okay, true option and the false option. So one item is true, which contain Patel, and the other four item which is not contain a Patel. Then after merge node, so you can see you have like 4 5 10, maybe 10 inputs here. So you can select, like I am adding a 4 number of inputs. Back to canvas, let's copy this one, and let's suppose I am adding here. So you can see I added multiple Google Drive folder here, but you can also delete this one. Like I'm deleting all this Google Drive. We have these photos here. Okay, we generated photos here all the ways, and we want to add in a one single way. Let's merge all the data. Let's adding the first one, then the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. You can merge up to 10 here. Okay, let's after add a drive, because we want to add all these images into one single drive folder. So I hope you understand. By this example, you can select up to 10 inputs and merge into the one output here. Okay, so this one also the main node in n8n. And then after the other one is like code. You can type code, and you can see code node here, code in JavaScript. It converts random data into the one required formats. So you can easily type the JSON code here which you want to add as an output format which you actually want. So let's suppose you can use the ChatGPT and type, let's suppose you are building this. Let's check here. I added the code here because this agent is generating many outputs, but we want one required format. So I added the custom JavaScript JSON code here. Then after we have actual data which we really want. So this one also the main one. You can use ChatGPT to type the code here. Then after you have connectivity and API section. The HTTP request is the main node. Okay, so it is a highly used node on n8n. So you can type HTTP here and this one. Okay, so you can see it has get method, post method, and any other method. By using this request, you can collect any apps from the internet which has APIs. So in the case we have this email verifier which has the API access. So I am just go to the documentation, and then here this method like the URL. So I am copying the URL from here, so I can easily use this email verifier in very simple way. I just typing the and the method, you can see post method here. Let's select post method. Documentation contains some other field which you need to add to access these APIs. Then after we added a webhook on the connectivity and API section, you can see now all the SaaS platform, all the apps contain webhook custom tool. So you can see webhook is contain test URL and production URL. You can select get post which are available on that any other platform. Let's suppose we want to use this Retail AI platform and need some custom output here from webhook. So you can see and the function here, so add option and the custom function, so you can type the API endpoint, so you can easily add these webhook URLs here and this contain post and select post here. Retail AI don't know about our properties, so I added by using a webhook here. So you can see search property webhook is here. Then after we added this Google Sheet, then after this sheet is random data, then after we added some custom code here. Third number in the API section, I added a respond to webhook. You can access by plus and then type respond, so you have this respond to webhook option. This one is the also main one. Then the last one and the main one, you can see the AI agent. So you can add this with the any LLM model, like type here, you can access from AI and the AI agent here. So you can see you have this AI agent. Okay, you have to add some any chat model, like you can select OpenAI, Google Gemini or any model here. In the all the case we use simple memory. Okay, and then after you can connect multiple tools here. Let's suppose we want to use a Shopify, then let's add the Shopify, and then we need to capture from the sheet data. Let's add the sheet. So you can see you can add multiple tools with this AI agent. So maybe this AI agent node worked on almost 80% time on all the workflows, because we need some LLM with one chat model which has brain. So we are using AI agent as a brain. Okay, I created one school community for AI automation and AI marketing, which contain all the courses and the data, so you can easily access my all the workflow from that school community also. And also I'm providing the one link in the description. We are providing a various AI marketing and AI automation services, so you can access our services page here. So you have all the services which we are currently providing. And also you want to build a custom AI automation for your business, then I provided my discovery call calendar link in the description. You can book a 30-minute small slot with me. Also I am part-time AI consultant, so you can also use a carl.com link for consultancy. If you have any other doubt regarding any notes, then comment me in this video. I will create some another videos for that particular notes. We will meet you in the next video. Bye bye.